INAV 7 is out, and one of our customers was wanting to update to INAV 7, and they ran into some problems. So I wanted to do a video on doing one here in the office. I was able to find a V3 flight controller, ZeeZ flight controller. I had a V2 that I'd already done, but because my customer has a V3, I needed to track down a V3 version that I had so that I could do it on my end. So luckily, one of our display models had a V3 flight controller. So either way, what I'm going to do first, if you have not seen this before, the flight controllers that we are sending out are ZeeZ F7 flight controllers. There are 3 versions out. V2 is going to look like this right here. V3 is going to look like this right here. So depending on which version you have, made, it determines the target that you use for updating. So that's what our goal is here. We want to update. He has a V3 board. Now, if you don't have the configurator, INAV configurator, type in INAV configurator. GitHub is where it normally is. Our site, OnPoint, also has a link to it, but it's easy enough just to type in INAV configurator into your Google search, and that will take you to the most recent one. Let's see, I wanted to see if there was a warning. So the thing that I'm hearing or running into is that if there is something connected on UART 1 and 3, it cannot be connected, or if it pulls power from the USB, it will have a problem updating. So that's another reason why I wanted to find our V3 board, was because the video transmitter is hard soldered to the board, and it is using the transmit pad for UART3. But it does not get power from off of USB power, so it should not, stress should not, be a problem. Either way, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to walk through this. So I already have it on my desk. I pulled the flight controller off of the quad. It's sitting on my desk, not attached to anything. And so I have the USB cable plugged in, and I am plugging it into my computer. And you will see in the top right up here, COM port 159 popped up. Okay, so I'm not even going to try to connect. I'm going to just go over to firmware, and it already sees that I have a ZeeZ F7 V3. It says right here, target prefetch successful. So it knows that that's what I have. If you do not get this, then you are going to click on the drop down and scroll all the way down to the bottom and select ZeeZ F7 V3, just like that. Then you're going to come over here, choose a firmware version, and you're just going to click the 7.0, the most recent version. All of these should be the same. What you'll do then is you'll come over here and you will click Load Firmware Online, so you will need to be on the internet. And it's going to go out there and it's going to fetch for it and pull it down so that it can update. If you have time and want to, you can read through all of the new things for 7. This right here is actually why we want to go to 7, is for the servo that we want to add, or the servo video that I will be doing here after I do this one. So either way, you've loaded it. It now says it's ready to flash firmware. So we're going to come down here and we're going to click flash firmware. Now it went to DFU mode, if you look in the top right, and it has started erasing. Now it's flashing. Okay, so it says programming has been successful. I'm going to go ahead and come up to the welcome screen, and then I'm going to unplug my flight controller, or unplug the USB cable from the computer, removing power and basically doing a reboot is what I'm doing. And so now I'm going to go ahead and plug back in. As you can see in the top right, COM159 has reappeared. I'm going to hit connect. And the first thing it's going to ask me is default values. So I'm going to be putting this on a 5-inch, or a mini quad with 5-inch propellers. So I'm going to select that. Okay. We are now have our flight controller. If I wiggle the flight controller around, you can see it's there and working. We are at 7. I have other videos on all of these, but I'll quickly go through them. Calibration, this is where you're going to calibrate your accelerometer as well as do your compass calibration. Mixer, here in a minute I'll be doing a separate video on adding a servo, and this is the mixer tab is where you are going to be doing that. Outputs, this is where you would enable your motor and servo outputs. This is, I haven't made any changes here, so if yours looks a little bit different, that is okay. Normally I lower this, I change that to D-Shot 600. I have to enable that. This is actually also where you do your motor rotation test. So you will be coming back to this tab. There's a ports tab we go through. Again, I'm not going to do any of this because it's purely about updating the software. Normally, so that is your receiver. UART5 is normally going to be GPS. If you are doing, let's see, the UART1 is actually the ESC output telemetry. UART3 on this board and the V3s is going to be TBS Smart Audio. I think on the customer the LiDAR is on UART2, so this would say MSP. Configuration, I didn't hit save, so you're supposed to hit and save before you leave, so none of that saved. But either way, you would go through configuration, failsafe, all of these other things. There's some new aspects for 7, like this easy tune, which basically, instead of having to do PID tuning, you can do sliders. This is something you can play with at a later point. The receiver would show if you had your remote powered up, these would be powered up. Modes, I haven't done any of that. So that is going to be it. I'm going to go ahead and say that this is updated. I will come back and set this up at a later date for whatever quad I need to do it to. But that's a quick and dirty video on what you need to do to update your flight controller. And like I said, the easiest thing that I found was to actually just pull it out off of the quad, out of the quad, and do it on my desk. Yeah, with something underneath so that it doesn't short out or anything like that. All right. Hope this helps. Post up comments or questions or email info@onpoint.com for any other information.